Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Marcus Cage, and this is what I've been thinking with Marcus Cage. In this video, we're going to get into all the things Nevada this week. So right now we have the Nevada Caucus, which early voting has already started. So they're already tallying some results. They're having some issues already. And I'll talk about that and give a couple of my theories on the Nevada caucuses. If you are in Nevada or if you know anybody in Nevada who is planning to vote in those caucuses, let them know that early voting is going on right now. If they do not know, and that the caucuses will be this weekend, the 22nd, I believe that's a Saturday. So if you're in that area, please come out to the caucuses. And if you know people in that area, please spread the word. Next thing that we'll talk about is we have a debate which is coming up Wednesday night. This is Tuesday night currently, so it'll be tomorrow night. So far on the stage that I know of, it'll be Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and there's the possibility that it might be Michael Bloomberg also. Michael Bloomberg has qualified for this debate, but as at the time when I started recording this, I hadn't heard any new information that he has said that he will actually be there for the debate. Though he's qualified, does not mean that he has to be in it. It is still his choice. He can decide to opt out, or he can decide to just wait for a later debate and possibly get on to another debate stage, since they say he has now met the thresholds. With all that said, let's get on to the video. Hope you enjoy. Thank you. Hello, and thank you for joining me. I'm Marcus Cage. This is what I've been thinking. All right, let's dive right into the first topic. The Nevada caucuses. The Nevada caucuses are here. Early voting started on Monday. So far, there has already been issues at the caucus sites. I've watched countless interviews of reporters saying that they have not been properly trained, that they're using a tool, which any tool on a computer is an app, which they don't want to call it an app because of Iowa caucuses and the problem with the app. Keep in mind that the people who was it Shadow and Acronym being the parent company were the same people who were contracted for the Nevada caucuses before this whole debacle. Once this happened, they decided, we have to figure out something else. So what they've been doing basically is they've been trying to put this ship together basically on the fly, without getting everybody all the proper information and training that they're going to need, or proper information. Mind you, Iowa is a very small state. Nevada is a much larger state with a much larger population. And I believe that if you already start in with running into a lot of the errors and problems which you ran into in the Iowa caucus, it stands to have a bunch of issues. I've already heard countless officials and volunteers already say that they are not confident that things are going to be that are going to make a lot of sense. One of the first issues that I wanted to talk about that I heard is with some of these early votes that have come in for various issues. I'm not saying that it's all nefarious, but for instance, if you mail in a ballot and you don't list your name on there, or you don't fill out the box and maybe you didn't circle it in and you check marked it, or you X'd, or any of those things can toss out your ballot as a non-valid ballot. That said, I don't have the knowledge to know if that's what's going on, or if party chairs inside of there are randomly deciding to select or deselect certain candidates' ballots. What was the interview which I heard on CNN, which was, I believe it was with Brianna Keeler. If you have the chance to see that interview, I mean, you should definitely watch it. I mean, you could watch the journalist, her mouth is like just stunned listening to the answers that she's getting back from this official who was supposed to be over the project. What she basically asked her was, for these people who have these issues with their ballots, are you notifying the people that they have an issue with their ballots? The chairwoman, what she responded with was, no, what we actually do is for the ballots that are incorrect or that we found that were invalid, we will notify the corresponding campaigns so that they can reach out to those voters to have them vote. Now, some people might not see the issue in that. I see numerous issues. For one, that's your job. If the ballots are messed up, it's for you to contact the voters. It's not for a campaign to contact the voters that way, because the campaigns and voters are not a symbiotic thing in a sense. It's an exchange. So to expect for the campaign to reach out to voters and let them know while they're trying to campaign at the same time, something doesn't smell right with that. And I guarantee you're going to find that certain candidates, maybe a candidate that you might like, or maybe a candidate, depending on who's listening, may really not like, might disadvantage them in this process. I've said it before that I think the Nevada Caucus is going to make the Iowa caucus look like it was nothing. I just got a feeling that this thing is about to be the biggest hot mess that we've seen in a while. So keep your eyes peeled. I know I'm not the only one who said this. I know I've heard many others say this. I don't think any of us are being hyperbolic. I don't think any of us are over exaggerating. This thing has all kind of problems, and most of the people who are involved with it are not even certain how it's going to turn out. They're just fingers across, just like the Bon Jovi song, that Living on a Prayer. So, with that said, we'll go on to our next issue. The debate. We have a debate coming tomorrow night. That will be Wednesday, the February 19th, I believe. The candidates that we will have on the stage, we will have Senator Bernard Sanders of Vermont. We will have Vice President Joseph Robinette Biden. We will have Senator from Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar. We will have the Senator from Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren. We will have the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg. And there's the possibility that we might even have former mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg. Though I don't like the way that Bloomberg ended up possibly ending up on the debate stage, I do want him on the debate stage because he has a lot of explaining to do. So with that said, since I'm not sure Bloomberg is actually even going to be at the debate, because like I said in the interlude, he has the ability to say, no, I'm good, I'm not coming. So we will talk about the candidates that we know which are going to be there. Bernie, Biden, Amy, Warren, and Pete. So I figure we might as well go ahead and get Bernie out of the way. Bernie, if you've been living under a rock or haven't been paying attention, the media has been at him. And granted, that happens with every single candidate when they become the front runner. The media's job is to kind of go out there, kick the tires, make sure, I don't want to say make sure like it's their job to pick the candidate, but it's their job to test the candidate. The media, that's their job. Their job is to ask them those questions, to bring out things about their past or their policies, to inform the public, because it's not that the public isn't intelligent. I argue that most of the public is either misinformed or they just don't know. And if more Americans were informed, they make better decisions. I.e., if you look at the early part of this primary, Joe Biden was doing very well. Now Joe Biden's support has tanked as more people have started to actually learn who Joe Biden is. Just because he was vice president don't mean people know Joe's record. They just know, hey, Joe and Obama, that it's a lot more to it. All right. Sorry, getting a little sidetracked. Okay, Bernie. Bernie is going to be getting attacked a lot. I've said that already. But the way I see the attacks coming, I definitely expect for Pete to probably be the most aggressive after Bernie, because I feel that he believes he has this opportunity and chance to get some momentum going, and he's going to try to go for the whole Iowa, do well, New Hampshire, and then South Carolina, and then be projected to victory. I know Obama did it, but also Obama actually had grassroots, and he actually had a groundswell of support much larger than Pete's support at this time. Also, Pete's support doesn't extend outside of the Black community, but that's right. I'm supposed to be sticking with Bernie. I keep getting distracted. I just see it as Pete is going to attack him from various different angles. Warren has definitely went after him as far as attacking his supporters, and I look at that's the line of attack which a Warren, a Biden, and Amy all are going to come from this form of attack. Tom Steyer recently has tried to attack him as far as Medicare for All, trying to laud that his public option plan would be a better solution. So you can expect, well, that's right, I forgot. Sorry, you can't expect that from Steyer because Steyer won't be on the stage. But the rest that you will see, Biden, Amy, Warren, and Pete will definitely go after him that way. If it's Bloomberg's going to do that same attack also. You've already seen him do the ads going after the whole online Bernie bro, thing. I don't think that's going to make very much difference. As far as Biden, I just look at just Biden is just kind of just floating. So, I mean, as we said in the military, he's dead in the water. And that's what he looks like to me. He's not going any further. He's just kind of sitting. And it's just a matter of time before the polls give Joe Biden and those people who believe Joe Biden has a viable chance the reality kick in the pants to let them know what really is going on. Joe Biden, I think that if he does do at least anything in Nevada, I think that he might just barely get to the point of getting delegates. I'm not projecting him to do very well or very high, so that I just don't see. As far as Amy, I feel like Amy is riding high off of a lot of the media praise that she's gotten. And she's thinking that, well, I got a bump off of the last debate. There's a possibility I can do it again. And I just don't think lightning's going to strike twice for her. And I think she's going to get, a rude awakening also. That said, this whole debate in general, I think is not going to be impactful for most of the candidates, because I feel that the electorate in Nevada and South Carolina and some of these other places are not the same as a New Hampshire or Iowa, who literally needs to hear 30 candidates and they still can't make up their mind. A lot of these other places, they can hear one or two issues and they're done. And I get why. They're deciding on the candidate they support and the issue, whereas a lot of people in Iowa and New Hampshire are trying to decide on who they like and who they think other people are going to like. And that's not a good way to ever pick a candidate. It's actually kind of weird, and I don't know why people do it. For one, you're assuming that you know what a stranger thinks, and you're going to be able to pick what that stranger is going to think because you think you know what's best for them. Think about it. That probably shouldn't do that. Pick who you think is the best candidate, and just stop with the guessing game on what you think somebody in Middle America is going to pick. Because being somebody, as you can see my hat, Kansas Jayhawks, I grew up in Middle America. Those people say, "Oh, well, a socialist can't win, a Bernie can't win." I've watched what trade has done to these areas. When you've had the jobs flee away and you've had some of these problems that you've had, which are unique in a lot of these Midwest and Southern areas. And the reason why I say they're unique is not that you don't have manufacturing or farming or agriculture or some of these other things in some of these larger states. The thing is, when that's all you have in that state and that goes down, there's no other line of business for you to just easily transition to and not have some hiccups. So, a lot of people in the Midwest, I feel, they feel a lot more the impacts of the policies, which a lot of people on the coast debate about and think in theoretics. And I feel that's why the Democratic Party has struggled so much to maintain power, or even win a lot of races. So that's the reason why I feel this debate isn't going to matter a great deal, because the lopsided framing is pretty much obvious and known now. Either you support the biased coverage for candidates or against certain candidates, or you don't like it and you do like that older voter, which I saw on MSNBC, where she told them, "You guys are always attacking Bernie, and it seems like it's coming from a disingenuous place, and you guys pushed me to vote for him." I feel that the more they keep doing these things, all they're doing is continuing to push more people towards Bernie Sanders. A lot of people didn't see Trump coming. I can't say that 6 months ahead of Trump being elected, I called it, but it wasn't a surprise to me. At that time, I was living in Florida. I drove around and I saw Trump stickers everywhere. I saw "lock her up" signs everywhere. I saw that what Trump had was that he had a groundswell and a grassroots campaign. Though it started off AstroTurf, but with him paying his initial people to be out there, he did gain a grassroots movement. The same people, the same prognosticators and commentators that you see on TV and that you listen to from the New York Times, or whether it's the Washington Post, or whether it's the Daily Kos, whatever that you listen to, Good Morning America, whatever you're watching, they all frame a virtual similar narrative in the way they perceive all of these things. And that narrative is why they don't see a Trump starting to rise, and don't realize that a lot of their coverage and the way they cover it push people into the arms of a Trump. The negative coverage towards a Bernie will push people who are thinking about Bernie, but might just need a little something to make them make that jump. If you're going to treat this guy unfair, then they'll wonder, well, why are they treating him unfair? Well, maybe I should help this guy, because one thing you got to remember in America, one thing we all love is we all love an underdog. We all love to see the little guy fight back. And if there's ever a time when a candidate looks like they're being bullied, that benefits them. Let's see. On to, I guess, my last thing. Sorry, this has been kind of all over the place. Had a lot of thoughts on my mind, and I just finished, a couple of other videos. But I guess that I'll come up with, I'll give my predictions. I see Bernie winning. I'm not going to do what I did in my last video and try to predict specific numbers to a caucus, especially a caucus which I believe is going to be somewhat shadowy or murky, or there will be some kind of, or I think that there will be kind of, cloud or suspicion with it. So I won't predict numbers. I will just predict, I guess, the order the best that I can guess it. I perceive Bernie Sanders to be the victor, but possibly somewhere around 30%. This is where it gets tough, actually, because right now, if you see the way the polling is going, it's been kind of up and down, but you've had polls where you have Tom Steyer, which he's sitting right around second or third. I've actually seen an outlier poll that actually has Tom Steyer at like 24% in the lead, with Bernie Sanders in second. But with all that said, I don't see a top that outlier poll doing a whole lot, or I don't want to say doing a whole lot. I don't see it being very accurate, or I don't think that that's how things are going to turn out. So I predict in second, I guess we'll go with Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden might hang on to some of his older support, being Nevada is a little bit of an older state. I think there's probably more voters that might be a little bit more moderate, and the fact that you have more of a diverse coalition, I think that could benefit him a lot more than a Tom Steyer, a Amy Klobuchar, or Pete Buttigieg, or even Elizabeth Warren for that matter. Her polling is actually went down with minorities since her high peaks when she was in her front runner status. So I think I'll see Joe Biden actually holding on to the number 2 spot. I will predict Tom Steyer to take third, Elizabeth Warren to take the number 4 spot, Pete Buttigieg in the 5th spot, Klobuchar would be 6th, and Tulsi Gabbard in the number 7 spot. So I guess that's my prediction for that. That's all I have. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully the debate doesn't go too horribly with Mr. Chuck Todd, who loosely refers to Bernie Sanders supporters as online brown shirts, which, if you don't know what that is, those are Nazis, being over the debate. So, it should be fun tomorrow, and I'm just ready for those results to come in, Bernie to do well, and then they can stop some of these narratives about these first 2 states were his best states that he could do because he can't do well with minorities. I'm pretty sure I'm a minority, and he does well with me, and I know plenty of others he does. So I'll leave it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to click click the subscribe button. Please tap the bell, and hopefully you guys have a good one. Thank you.